I am speaking to you in English. I write stories in English. My undergrad degree was in literatures in English, but I'm not sure how many people understand the implications of that, of being a Jamaican writer in this post-colonial context. In the 1600s, the British stole the island of Jamaica from the Spanish, who had themselves stolen it from the native Tainos more than 100 years before. From then on, the English language has been the language of the elite in Jamaica, the official language, the language of schools, governments, news, and more. But English is not the only language spoken here. Jamaica's national spoken language is Jamaican Creole, which we generally call Patois. You see, Patois is the language of the people. It is what you hear on the street corner, or when people are playing football, or cussing each other out for bad driving, or when you're just lounging with friends. It's a language that was born out of the hearts of my enslaved ancestors, who were forced by their European colonizers into a place where they were not allowed to use their native languages. In other words, Patois is a result of linguistic and cultural genocide. According to many Jamaicans, it isn't even a language. It's considered improper speech, the speech of the uneducated, the illiterate, the criminal. Many Jamaican parents, mine included, try to promote English by making sure their children only or mostly hear English at home. Class is divided along many different lines in Jamaica: clothes, housing, geography, and language too. Guess which language is considered lower class? Generally, Patois is considered a language of entertainment, not something to be taken seriously. You'll find it in dancehall music and, to a somewhat lesser extent, reggae. You'll find it in comedy skits, but there are very few news broadcasts in Patois. Politicians basically never address the nation in Patois or conduct their debates in Patois, but they do conduct campaigns in Patois and use dancehall music to connect with the very people they refuse to address when talking about policy and law. The rules and idiosyncrasies of Patois are not taught in schools, which often assume basic grasps of English that many Jamaican students just don't have. I don't think many people really understand the implications of this. English was considered the most important agent of civilization for the colored population of the colonies. To the colonizers, we were uncivilized, in need of salvation that only their power over us could provide. And many of us Jamaicans embrace this. I grew up thinking of Patois as bad English, not a language with its own grammar and with cultural significance to my people. In other words, an agent of colonization and control was instilled in me as superior to my national language. All this and more make up the issues that Jamaican writers have to wade through when trying to answer a question. Do I write in English, Patois, both? For those of us who even approach this question, we often fight what has been ingrained in us since we were very young. Does Patois have a place in this genre, whatever genre it might be? We grew up witnessing an unspoken divide. If we do write in Patois, will people take us seriously? Take the late poet and performer, the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley, Miss Lou, for example. Her poems are found all over the place and even recited by children in schools. But how many students of literature analyze them the way they analyze Shakespeare or even C. Everett Palmer? Even though Miss Lou is celebrated for being so unapologetic in her use of Patois, her literature still isn't considered something to be on par with that of English literature. And then there's another question. How do we even write Patois? Of course, schools don't generally teach how to write Patois, so there is no one unified way to write it. Most people combine the English words they are taught in school with some that are modified to look closer to how Patois is actually pronounced. There is another way to write Patois, an actual standard way. It isn't widely accepted, but it is consistent both within itself and with the language. but people resist that, preferring to use the inconsistent English-based ways of writing it that they are used to. For English literature class in school, I read books by the late C. Everett Palmer. He wrote about rural life in Jamaica, with characters you would expect to talk to each other in patois. Instead, his book's dialogue seems to code Jamaican speech with informal English register from other countries. For example, I've never heard a Jamaican say the contracted form of them, but Palmer uses it. We Jamaican writers make decisions like this regularly. If we write in patois, will it be accessible to wider audiences? Will people look down on us for using it? As a freelance writer, there is even more that I think about. I'm speaking to you in English right now. I scripted this video in English, but my English still isn't good enough. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen requests for writers only from the US or UK, and I had someone say to me that my English isn't native because I asked, what about my English gives them pause? Can you imagine? The English language was force-fed to my ancestors, and then to me, in this nation that still bows to the King of England. I graduated with a Literatures in English degree with honors, and it still isn't good enough. Walking around in Jamaica, chances are you will see English that isn't exactly correct due to the influence of patois. That's why I wish the Jamaican people, my people, would give themselves the freedom to write in patois, to write in our native national language. We are a nation with two prominent spoken languages, English and patois. Why should only one be given the dignity of being written and read outside of the privacy of informal spaces? As always, thanks for watching. I've been Ken Kwame, and I'll see you next time.